Christians in the West prepare for what's about to happen very soon.
The church in America is going to suffer so terribly. And we laugh now, but they will come after us. They will come after our children. The net even now is closing around you and your children and your grandchildren, and it does not cause you to fear.
What these two ladies have experienced and are experiencing are precursors of what's about to happen to Christians in the West in no distant time.
On trial were Finnish lawmaker and former Interior Minister Päivi Räsänen and Bishop Johanna Pohjola of the Evangelical Lutheran Mission. Also on trial was the Bible itself, and whether quoting the Bible is a hate crime. But when Päivi Räsänen challenged the church to do just that, she was charged with a crime. Prosecutors accused Räsänen of committing hate speech on 3 occasions.
On 2019, it was a shock to me when I heard that the Finnish Lutheran Evangelical Church, the main church of Finland, announced its public support to the Pride event. And I thought that now it is time to speak. and then I wrote a Twitter post where I asked the leadership of the church that how is it possible that you are celebrating something as a pride, what Bible calls shame and sin. And I took a photo from the Bible, from Book of Romans. And after that, there became a public debate, and some citizen made a criminal complaint, and police started to investigate that my Twitter posting. It was a surprise to me. I never could imagine that something could happen. I had written 2004 a pamphlet about marriage and sexuality, which was published by Bishop Johanna Pohjola and Lutheran Heritage Foundation. Just a few years ago, I was working as a Minister of Interior in charge of police, and then I was sitting there interrogated about my belief, about my faith, about the Bible. If this happens in Finland, it can happen anywhere.
When did quoting the Bible become a criminal offense? It is extremely concerning that Dr. Päivi Räsänen, a member of the Finnish parliament, would be arrested, interrogated for 13 hours, and charged for simply tweeting Bible verses on sexuality. Subsequently, the Finnish parliament was cleared of hate crime. Unfortunately, the prosecutor appealed, and she was forced to head back to court to defend herself again for simply believing what the Bible teaches, that marriage is between a man and a woman.
On March 30th, 2022, the Helsinki District Court unanimously dismissed all charges against Päivi Räsänen, who was put on trial for hate speech after expressing her deeply held beliefs in a 2019 tweet, an almost 20-year-old pamphlet, and a radio discussion that was taken out of context. Although the court stated that, quote, "It is not for the district court to interpret biblical concepts," the prosecution has appealed the not guilty verdict, and Räsänen faces another free speech trial. How does it feel to be facing a second trial for something that happened so long ago after being found unanimously not guilty, like you said?
Yes, of course I was disappointed to hear that it takes so long time. The process is still going on. I'm still suspected of crime. I have been it for years, and it has been very public in media. It has also taken a lot of my time, and it has also had effects to my work in Parliament. For example, when we have the elections, I'm on the list of those who are suspected of crime. So it has been quite hard time. I think that the process itself has been some kind of punishment, even though I got the acquittal from the court. It has been quite hard time. But at the same time, I have felt that this has been my calling, and it has been an honor for me to defend freedom of speech and freedom of faith.
Listen to this shocking statement from one of the prosecutors. One prosecutor took issue with her description of homosexuality as sin and argued that while she is free to cite the Bible, it is Rasanin's interpretation and opinion about the Bible verses that are criminal. Unbelievable. Päivi had to endure another lengthy legal battle to defend herself for a crime she never committed. Thankfully, God granted her victory against those who sought to punish her for daring to defend traditional marriage between a man and a woman. A Finnish court of appeal tossed out the hate crime charges against Päivi, ending the 4-year legal battle for expressing traditional Christian beliefs regarding sexuality and gender. It is shameful that the Finnish PM had to endure 4 years of legal battles because the Lutheran Evangelical Church decided to support a pride event, and she spoke out against it. As Jesus said in Matthew 5, verse 14, the body of Christ should be the light that shines in darkness. Sadly, many so-called churches and those who profess to be Christians promote darkness instead of light.
Her trial has also helped awaken many Christians in Finland, who rallied to her defense.
Isabel von Sprucy is the lady the UK police arrested for praying in her mind.
What are you here for today?
Physically, I'm just standing here.
Praying?
I might be praying in my head, not out loud.
Okay, well then you're under arrest on suspicion of failing to comply with the Public Spaces Protection Order.
You are outside here when you know you shouldn't be. So what we'll start with is we're going to issue you with a ticket now. And if you don't leave the area, you'll then be arrested. Do you understand that?
The police officer asked her, "Are you praying?" The police officer had to actually go into her mind.
We now have people arrested for praying, interrogated by the police, asked what they're praying about, what they're thinking. It is unthinkable.
Well, she is fighting for her freedom again? Just recently, the UK police fined Isabel for praying in her mind again in a public place.
But the most recent time was simply just standing again near the abortion centre, silently saying my prayers, not holding any posters or leaflets, not engaging with anyone in any way. And the police came and told me that they were going to issue me with a fixed penalty notice if I didn't move outside the zone. Obviously, I told them that I didn't believe I needed to because all I was doing was silently praying. And so they gave me with a ticket, which I was later told if I came again, I would get a fixed penalty notice. So that seems to be saying that this time I haven't had one, even though they gave me a ticket at the time. But again, it's just really, really confusing. The messages I'm getting from the police, to be going to court, to be acquitted, to having an email from them saying they're dropping charges and now coming out again. It's actually quite intimidating.
Exactly. This is pure intimidation. What the police are doing to a United Kingdom citizen is awful and appalling. We've made several videos addressing this issue, but the latest harassment from the UK police proves that the devil, working through the government and law enforcement officers, is determined to silence anyone who dares to speak out on the issue of saving babies in the womb.
Which is, again, very, very concerning and quite discriminatory that, because my silent prayers are directed towards God, that they're going to try and move me on. That is effectively religious discrimination. And we know that is the issue because they were specifically saying, are you praying? What were you praying about? Like it's anyone else's business, what's going on inside my head and who my prayers are for. It's just outrageous that the police are asking these questions.
Asking someone what they're praying about in their mind is simply outrageous. Virtually every group that champions or promotes ungodly behaviors and ideologies is protected. But when Christians express their religious views and convictions, they are harassed and intimidated. How did the so-called developed nations that once championed religious freedom and promoted godly values become the habitation of demons, where Christians are persecuted for their faith in God?
Maybe it is a reminder of how powerful our prayers are. I'm only doing what I've been doing for about 20 years, praying for women in these very difficult situations. And I know many, many women who've been really, really grateful for that, whether they've continued with their abortion or not. It's been a very difficult day for them and they've appreciated somebody being there who genuinely cares about them. And maybe, as I say, it's a reminder of how far our prayers go and how much that they do work, that there is such an uproar about this. People recognize that prayer does have an impact.
Indeed, there is power in prayer. The devil knows it, and that's why he tries to use the government to silence anyone who prays in public or tries to assist women who are in vulnerable situations and desperately need prayers and godly counseling. Finally, we urge every Christian to have faith in Jesus Christ. What these two ladies have experienced will likely become very common, especially in the West. We say this not to scare you, but to prepare you to fight for and defend your faith when you're persecuted. Do not forget that greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. And for this reason, you need not fear the attacks of the enemy, because Jesus has already guaranteed your victory. Please help us spread biblical truth. Subscribe, like, and share. God bless you.